Hello, you very wonderful people. My name's Libby and welcome to this very short, hopefully very sweet little sequence that's there for a reset. So the session's going to work in three ways. There's going to be three parts to it. The first part is somatics. The second part is going to be slowly going through a very short asana sequence. And then the third part will be going through that sequence again a little bit quicker. So you can use this practice maybe before you go for a run, after you go for a run, either to tail end or begin your own movement practice. Or if you're like me and you work from home, I'm on a computer most of the day, and you need to have those moments where you come away from the screen, just totally reset, stretch everything out, feel into the body, just have a moment of replenishment and rejuvenation so you can go back to the rest of the day, the rest of your work, feeling that little bit more vibrant. So my idea is that you can do it all the first time, and then if you like the sequence, which I hope you will, then you have the option to either just come and do the first bit, the somatic bit, or to just do the end bit, the sequence that's faster going through just the movement practice. Or maybe you mix those two together, or you can do the whole thing again as many times as you want for free. But I'm going to put the time codes for the three different bits in the description so that you know where to go to. Because if you come back and do the third part of the sequence again and again, then of course in time you won't need to watch the video at all. And the way that I'm structuring this practice is really thinking about how we can go from A to B in a different way than we may kind of more traditionally move between poses. And I'm doing that so that you can see how you can get from A to B in order to inspire you to also think about that in your own practice. So how do I transition? What do I want to feel in the transition? Because if I want to do anything as someone facilitating yoga, it's to imbue you with the confidence that you are your own facilitator, right? You don't need to follow someone else's guidance, but yeah, it can be good to have a structure to practice with so that you can then work with that yourself. So that is the intention with this short sequence. And all that said, let's come and lie down. So we're going to come into a constructed rest position. So you're lying on your back, your feet are on the floor, and feel the weight of the back of the head sinking in the earth. And as this kind of heaviness of the head, the heaviness of the hips, the heaviness of the feet connect with the heaviness of the earth below you, feel what else then sinks into gravity. So just let yourself, give the heaviness of yourself to the earth as if you were dropping into it. And we're going to start with some yogic breaths. So bring one hand to the belly, one hand to your heart. And slowly breathing in through the nose, start to inhale to the belly. Feeling the belly pushing into the hand, and then the breath will move up into the chest. And then it will release from the chest drops, the belly drops. And of course, you're going to have your own length of your breath. Don't try to force it by making it longer or shorter, just the own rhythm of your breath. Feel into that now, but consciously breathing into the diaphragm, so feeling the belly first be the place where you experience the breath in your body, then let it move up into the chest as you fill with air, and then dropping down, down, down. Take a few more breaths like this, your own pace. And recognizing what already shifts, what already arises. Feeling into the presence that this just slow diaphragmatic breathing already welcomes, invites into your field of awareness as you presence yourself to yourself. And staying in this space that you've already created, that you've cultivated just by presencing yourself to yourself, we're going to move into something called pons, as taught to me by my wonderful teacher Satu Tuamela from Authentic Flow Tribe. It's pons, or we can call it chi machine. So we stay in the same structure that we're in with the body, but really feeling into the weight in the sacrum. And you want the sacrum to be sort of flat on the floor. And I say sort of because, of course, we're all going to have a different curvature of our spine. So yours may be more rounded or it may be very flat. But think about the heaviness in the sacrum, in the lower part of the back of your body. Just grounding that into the earth, the weight of that into the earth. Also the soles of the feet, the heaviness of them, just presencing them to the earth as the earth also responds. So they're yielding into one another, the feet and the earth below them. As if there's this weight, but also it's harder to discern where one ends and the next begins, the feet and the earth. And with that awareness of the heaviness of the feet, you're going to only moving the feet and very slightly moving the feet, start to press that weight a little more into the floor. And you may need to just change where the feet are so that you can feel, yeah, that's better for me. You can start to push the weight of the feet into the earth as if it's almost like a reverberation of the feet and the earth. And as you do that, you're not moving anything else apart from gently pushing the feet into the earth pushing back. Then the sacrum will also start to move. So you can look at me if you're not sure. And what this does, this oscillation of the spine that we're creating just from moving the feet, is it will start to let everything relax. So as everything does start to relax and the movement moves further and further up the spine, then the head, the chin, will also start to rock. And it won't start to rock until everything's relaxed. So you need to give it time to do that. And if it doesn't get there, then that also doesn't matter. We're still creating this chi, this energy in the body by this oscillations of the spine, the feet presencing into the earth, the feet yielding into the earth, and then creating all this energy flowing up and down the central channel. And we're going to do it for maybe just 10 more seconds. We'll come back to it afterwards. And then stop and feel. And rest in that feeling. And we're going to come to it again. If that wasn't working so well for you, there's another way to have essentially the same thing happen. You straighten the legs. And this time, obviously, the feet aren't pressing into the floor, but you still press the feet down. So as if the feet were tapping forwards, forwards, back, back, forward, back, forward, back. But again, very subtly, you don't need to do much. And then that's also going to have the same movement, the same relaxation, the same energy flowing through you. So you can choose which one you prefer. We'll do another minute. Feeling the heaviness of you in the earth. Letting the skeleton just react to this gentle movement of the feet, this connection with the earth or even with the air if you've got your legs straight. Then facilitating all the rest of this movement, all the rest of this prana flowing through you, moving through you, releasing through you. And come to stillness, rest in that space. We're going to come to receiving bug. So we extend the limbs up, all four limbs up. And I like to pretend that I'm a marionette puppet with strings attached so that I am suspended in the air. But I'm not, the strings aren't being pulled tight, but I am being suspended, but as if someone has it above. So maybe they also, as that hand that's holding the strings moves, then the limbs will also move with it. And in this way, we can practice yielding into space, into gravity. So we're not doing nothing here. We're suspending ourselves in space, but it's not an effortful pushing or stretching or reaching. It's just a beingness in this shape, in this form. And maybe that you want to be very still, or maybe there's movement in the pelvis that's going to move the legs. Maybe there's the toes and one of the foot starts to have more presence, more awareness, and then what that does to the rest of the foot, the rest of the leg, the hip, the whole body. So that we really recognize how everything is connected in the body. How the subtle movement of one part of you affects everything. And maybe you want to start to get a bit more length, a bit more efforting, but only if you feel like you can still do that from the place of yielding. So don't suddenly force everything, but maybe it's more dynamic, but still with this same awareness of the space that's surrounding your limbs, that's holding your limbs in this space. And we're going to rock the legs, the feet over the head, and roll on the spine, come up. We'll do a couple more of that. So gently rolling the spine. And then coming up to sit. And perhaps that is that for you today, and you just want to keep that your practice, or of course you can come back to it. But if you're staying, then let's move into the sequence. So have your legs crossed. Can be crossed in any way, but comfortably. And we're going to just do a Sufi grind. So really connecting to the tail, the root of the body. We're going to move from there. And we'll start by hands on the knees, by thinking about stirring up the energy that sits at the root of the spine, by gently moving the torso, moving the spine around the pelvis. It can get bigger if it gets bigger. It can stay very subtle if it stays very subtle. But thinking about mixing up the root of the spine, the energy that sits there. And then go the other way. Feeling how the tailbone also gets involved here. So the awareness of the energy in the pelvis as well as the energy that sits just behind the tailbone. And how these can be in relationship with one another. You can use the hands on the knees to get a bit more traction. And then maybe the movement starts to come up to the chest and to the shoulders as well, but maybe. Come to center and then bring your hands to the floor. Push yourself back so that your hips are just about over the knees. Feet together, toes together. And then reach the hands forward. We're going to come to Anahatasana, puppy pose. So the forehead comes to the floor. And we think about the weight in the heart sinking down. But we don't need to be thinking about making this a back bend, but rather just an opening of the shoulders. So you can push down with the hands. Feel the shoulder blades moving away from each other as the shoulders also slide away from the ears, making space in the back of your body and really presencing yourself to the back of your body here. Breathing into the back of the body and out through the back of the body. Then gently lift the gaze. And at this point, if you want to stop and do some sun salutations to warm up more, then you can do that if you want to have a longer practice. Otherwise, we are going to push into the hands and lift the hips up, come to downward facing dog. So like we did with the feet, the heaviness of the feet in the earth, can you have that same experience of the hands and their relationship to the earth here? Whilst also thinking about lengthening up into the space behind you through lifting the pelvis. Shoulder blades also move up. Tailbone lengthening down. And the knees can be bent here, of course. You don't need to have straight legs. Then inhale, lift the right leg up into the space behind you, thinking about length rather than height. So really radiating out through the right foot. And then look between the hands, start to bring that right knee towards the right elbow, then step the right foot outside the right hand into lizard pose. And you can drop the back knee if you wish. You can come to the elbows if you feel ready for that. But I want you to think about the right femur bone coming into the hip socket so that we're opening from this place of mindful awareness with the right hip. Using your breath. I'm laughing because it's 38 degrees in here and there's no fan or AC and I've moved for about a minute and I'm so sweaty. So I apologize if I'm constantly mopping my brow. Take a few more breaths here. Think about pushing the hands into the earth, the elbows into the earth if you're down, and widening the collarbones. Can you lift the chest, lift the gaze? And then start to extend the right foot back. Come to Ardha Hanumanasana, half monkey pose. So really pull the right hip back and the right toes can stay on the floor or you can flex them. It will be more of an effort in the muscles in the leg if you flex. And the hands are inside the right foot. Again, lengthen, open the chest, widen the collarbones, fold forwards. Inhale, look up. Keep pulling the right hip back. Exhale, hinging from the hips, drop forward. Inhale, look up. Exhale, bowing forwards. Okay, next transition. You're going to pivot on first of all, move the hips forward a little. Moving from the left knee, you're going to turn the left foot off towards the left, off the mat. And then move the right leg back, extend the leg. So you may want to bring something underneath the left knee if there's pain. But the left foot is off the mat, bent, hips just about in line with the knee, right leg is on a diagonal, and the foot just slightly on a diagonal too, with the right toe pointing towards you. Left hand is down, reach the right arm up and over the ear, breathing into the side body. And you can stay here or you can lift the right foot up. But whether the foot's down or up, really lengthening through the outside of the right leg. If the leg's up, using the glutes to hold there, using the core to keep it lifted. For 5, 4, 3, radiating out through the right foot. 1, and then bend the right knee. Take hold of the right foot with the right hand. Push the foot into the hand as you also think about pulling the foot towards you. Really pushing down with the left hand as well. Open the chest, open the right shoulder. You can look up. And then release, straighten the leg. Then bring the right foot down, flat to the floor, and come up so that the hip is above the thigh. And reach the left arm over, slide the right hand down the foot. And just make sure that that foot is at a diagonal, slight diagonal. And breathing into the left rib cage. We're in gate pose. And then bring the left hand down again. We're going to come into diagonal with the right side of the body. So reaching out through the right fingertips, the right foot. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Then bring the right hand back down. Turn on the left knee again. This time, the left foot comes towards the right side of the mat. And then bring the right knee in behind that knee and sit back into Gomukhasana, cow face pose. So you may need to wiggle, wobble, move the feet. And you can push into the feet, just lift the hips so that when you sit back down, both sit bones are square, flat on the floor. And let's just first stay, feel what starts to be experienced in the hips. I can't see, I'm sweating so much. And then we're going to reach the right arm up, bend the elbow, bring the left hand to that elbow, open the right tricep, and if you can take the bind, the left hand comes behind, interlace the fingers, and widen the collarbones. Push the head gently back into the right arm. And then release, reach the right arm up, and bring the fingertips to the floor. If that doesn't feel good, hands on top of the left knee. If you can, walk the hands forward. Then maybe you fold forward. Keeping the length in the spine, keeping the sit bones down. Walk the hands forward. This time the hips do come up so that we can unravel ourselves back to downward facing dog. I'm switching sides, you don't have to. But we push into the hands, lift the hips high again, back to downward facing dog. Widening the pelvis here, lengthening through the spine, shoulders coming up. Hands pushing firmly down, heart sinking into that space between. Then inhale, lift the left leg up, thinking about taking up space with the foot, with the leg, rather than height. Then look forward, left knee comes outside the left elbow, step it outside the left hand into your lizard pose. Remembering the left femur bone coming into the hip socket. And you can turn the left toes off more or less, see what feels good for you, but keeping an awareness in this ankle so you don't sickle it, so that we're using the ankle to protect the knee. Maybe you come onto the elbows. Widen the collarbones. Can you lift the gaze just a little? Can you sink the hips just a little lower? And then coming up, drop the right knee down if it's not already, and straighten the left leg. It may move forwards a little bit, that's fine. Pull the left hip back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Moving with the breath. The end of the next inhale, turning on the right knee, the right foot comes off the mat, and extend the left leg, back foot down, right hand down. Here we are, back in the same shape. So just making sure you're okay, the knee is okay, folding the mat or bringing a support under it if you need it. And we reach the left arm over the ear, and maybe you lift the left foot up, using the core, thinking about lengthening through the whole of the body here. And then start to bend the left knee, take the left foot with the left hand, push the foot into the hand, pull the foot in towards you to make the space, the opening in your chest, the left shoulder opening. Maybe the gaze lifts or it stays down. Open, open, open. And then extend the leg back out. Left foot firmly down on the floor. Come up to gate pose. And bring the left hand down the left leg. Reach the right arm up, lengthening through the torso. And exhale over towards the left. Breathing into the right rib cage. Switching. Keep pushing down with the outer edge of the left foot, right hand down, left arm, side body, leg, foot into the diagonal. Really one line of energy moving through you. And it doesn't have to be a straight line, yeah? Maybe it's this curvaceous line moving along the left side of the body. Bring the left hand down, turn the right foot in and over to the left. Left knee comes behind the back of the right and sit down. And if you're not on both sit bones, then hands push into the feet. Lift yourself up and sit back down. Gomukhasana. Taking a moment here. Hello, hips. And from there, reach the left arm up, extend, bend the elbow. Either take the right hand outside the right elbow, open the tricep that way, or if it's available to you, you can take the bind, or maybe you have a strap, or you hold onto your clothes so that you still have the arms in this position, even if they don't quite meet. Then rest the head into that left arm. Think about widening the shoulder blades, the collarbone. Release that, reach the arms up, and then bring them down, fingertips to the floor. You can have the hands on the knees if that's already too much, feeling into what's happening on the outer extremities of the hips. Maybe you come forward, but keep pushing the sit bones into the floor, lengthening through the spine. Maybe the gaze drops. Keep walking the hands forward till the hips come up. I'm spinning around. You don't have to. We come back to downward facing dog, ready to begin again. We're going to do all of that again, but a little bit quicker because now we know exactly what we're doing. So first, presencing yourself back to downward facing dog, yielding the hands into the earth. Shoulder blades move away from each other. Length through the arms, length through the shoulders, length through the side body. Lift the hips high as you gently tuck the tailbone, zip up. Knees can be bent or straight. And let's go. Inhale, reach the right leg up, extend back. Bend the knee as the foot comes outside the right hand into lizard pose. Really think about widening from the pelvis here. Keep that right femur bone coming into the hip socket, and the toes can come off more or less, whatever feels best for you here. You can play, so maybe it's an exploration of that feeling in your hip. How can you create more space in the pelvis? Or maybe it's going to the deepest place you can go and finding ease there, if there's ease there. Otherwise, keep playing, keep feeling into what's right for you. Then we drop the back knee. If it's not already dropped, extend the right leg. You may need to push that foot forward a little, pull the right hip back. And as time goes on, if you do come back to this sequence again and again, and you feel like you want to go to full Hanuman from here, then you can certainly do that. I'm certainly not doing that now, today. So that's only an option if you know how to safely be there. But otherwise, we'll do the undulations we did before as we bow forward. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold. Keep pulling the right hip back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bow. Beautiful. Then the left foot comes off the mat over towards the left. Left hand pushes down, reach the right foot back. Support that knee if you need to. Reach the right arm up, and then the right leg lifts. And it may be that it can lift a little bit higher this time now that you've created more space. Using the core to keep that lifted. And then we take hold of the foot, push the foot into the hand, pull the foot with the hand so that you can open. Breathing into the right shoulder. And then the right foot comes back down to the floor and we come up, push into the outer edge of the right foot. Into gate pose. Right hand slides down as the left arm slides over the ear. Breathing into the left side body, breathing in through the rib cage. Radiating in and out here as you open. And then coming to the diagonal, the left arm comes down, the right arm reaches up. So we have this line. The line doesn't need to be straight. You can think about the movement along the side of the body. Length rather than form. Then bring the left foot over towards the right. Both hands down, right knee behind the left. Sit back to Gomukhasana. Maybe you shift forward so that you can feel both sit bones grounding. And we come into our Gomukhasana arms. Right arm lifts either the bind or the left hand on the right elbow. And you can stay here or fold forwards. And release, reach the arms up and down. And either folding forwards or staying upright. Breathing in to the hips. Keep walking the hands forward till the hips lift, and then you're going to push back to downward facing dog. The next side we repeat. Taking a moment to reset, to tune in, and then inhale, lift the left leg up, bend the left knee, step it outside the left hand, come to your lizard variation. Again, maybe it's elbows down, maybe it's knee down, maybe it's playing with moving the hip, swaying the hip, seeing how we can create more presence in the pelvis. And then the right knee will come down if it's not already, and the left leg will extend, foot down or toes maybe pointing towards you. Ardha Hanuman Asana, remembering that Hanuman Asana, if that's something that is so easy for you, then beautiful, you can come to that now. Otherwise, we'll undulate here. So inhale, lift, and exhale, fold. Keep pulling the left hip back. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, bowing down. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, making our way to gate. We're going to bring the left foot off the mat, extend the left leg out, and right hand down. Reach the left arm up and lift the left leg up. Lengthen the tailbone, zip up through the core. Whole body opening, and then take the left foot and push the foot into the hand. As you pull the foot in, open the chest. And release. Left foot down, come up. Reach the right arm up, and left arm slides down the leg as the right arm reaches over. Breathing into and out of the right side of the rib cage. Inhale, the right arm comes down. Exhale, lift the left arm up to the diagonal. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Both hands down, right foot over to the left side of the mat, left knee behind the right knee, and we sit down. Gomukhasana. So shifting if you need to, and the left arm comes up, taking the bind or your version with the arms. And release. Fingertips down, either to the knees, the floor, maybe you walk forwards, this last forward fold. And lift the hips up. We're going to come now to sit, because we finished. So that's a short practice in it's a longer practice if practiced all together, but 3 different stages that, I hope is a reset for you. I hope it is replenishing for you. I hope it's inspiring for you. I hope it was great. And that's all that we can ever hope. So thank you so much for joining. Hari Om Tat Sat.